Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of quickmail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. Today we have a rapid fire.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to go very quickly through 10 questions. And since this is a rapid fire, here's a mini commercial. Salesbread.com will help you generate 1 lead per day. Go to salesbread.com/contact, get in touch.
Quickmail.io, best cold email outreach platform ever, plus a free auto warmer to make sure you got great deliverability. Boom!
Oh, you can't beat that. Let's dive right in. Favorite prospecting hack?
Oh, one thing I do like is basically you can know what company is visiting your website, and then after that you reach out to them one way or another. That may not be the person browsing your website, but at some point there is an interest somewhere in the company.
Yeah, I love that. So mine right now is kind of similar. It's people that have my, let's say, ideal customer attributes that are viewing me on LinkedIn. It'll say their name and their company. It's just like a clear signal that they're interested in something. So I'll just go out and reach out to them. It doesn't take much work, and comes included with a Sales Nav subscription. So
I know it's a rapid fire, but doesn't actually means that the people are interested in selling something to you instead of interested in your product?
So I would say about half the people viewing, yeah, they're there just prospecting. But occasionally I will get someone that I'll see their job title and company are perfect match. Something's going on here. So if you have enterprise technology on my profile, it's not like you're here to sell me enterprise tech.
Makes sense.
So let's, carrying on. Number 2, how can I find company information on the internet for free? We all like
Google.
for free. Yeah. That's
Scrape
true. I guess
Google, go for it.
Scrape Google. That's very true.
It's got everything.
So it depends what kind of company information you're looking for. If it has anything to do with size or funding, I would probably start with Crunchbase. You don't need a subscription. If it's a one-off search, just look them up. You can type company and then Crunchbase, and if it's available, it will show you. They've got some good insights there. And the company websites will probably have a surprising amount of helpful information. And if you need some technology usage, you can go to Built With and search one-off websites. Pretty much every tool, paid or free, let's say every tool paid that sells company data has a free version, a light version. So just do that. Even Zoom Info. Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah. Okay, so there you go, bada boom, we Google, we find stuff. Next question, how can I find more leads using a technology users list? Again, like Built With. What? So I'll tackle this one first.
Sure.
If you make a competing product that Built With has indexed, so pretty much, and Jeremy, you know this a lot better than I do, but there's something on the internet, on a website, I should say, that indicates this site is using this tool, like a JavaScript thing.
Yeah, like for example, if you're a competitor of Intercom, for example, then Intercom has to be on the website.
Yeah, it has to. That's very true. So anything public facing, help desk, live chat, translation software, whatever. If it's public facing, you can find it. So I think there's 2 ways that you can use this to sell more software. One, find your competitors, and if you have an edge, like a feature that's brand new that you know the marketplace is hungry for, reach out to the existing user base and let them know about this feature. It can be as simple as that. My advice is don't, let's say, punish the tool and talk crap about it, because remember, these are users of it. Someone on their company's team made a decision to buy it. So you don't want to bash them too hard.
Those idiots who bought this software.
Thank you.
Come on, buy mine instead.
Very true. Or you can use something like Built With to show you websites that are using sister tools, like related tools. Like if you use Intercom, well, then there's a pretty good chance that you use another, I don't know, let's say another, it wouldn't be help desk, but they are at a certain size. Then you could say, okay, here's a good one. Let's say you were selling like workshops to help customer support. You could say, all right, Built With, show me everyone using help desk documentation. That's how I'm going to find people that have a robust customer support team. and use that to prospect and sell something else. So like a sister, like an indicator that they may need what you have based on a technology they're using. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No.
I'm not crazy. That's a good thing. Anything before we move on?
Go for it. I'm fine. Next question.
All right, Jeremy.
It's a rapid fire, man.
That's right. It's rapid. How can I find someone's email address using their Facebook account? I have a dumb answer for this.
Do that. Did you have to do that?
Yeah. So there's some. Wow. Like rarely, I'll see a case where there's a Facebook group that's super niche. Okay. Here's a good one. There's a company that I'll remain nameless for right now, and they sell coaching for entrepreneurs that are also mothers, and there are active Facebook groups for moms that run a business. And so one of the questions was, hey, how can we use this to our advantage? How can we actually prospect this group? So it's pretty cool. Like Facebook is going to have certain groups that LinkedIn or Quora just doesn't have. So how do we go from one to one? There are some providers that will do this for you and or scrape and enrich.
Yeah.
Costs a couple grand a month. They're expensive to do this enrichment. That's pretty much all it is. Or you can do the manual route and do some scraping and then have a VA help you match up LinkedIn profiles, company URLs, and then find the email addresses that way. It's kind of messy and it's kind of expensive, but it can be done.
Can't you just use something like Phantom Buster or anything like that to just extract a list?
Yes, and then what, right? So you still, like, Facebook would have to tell you what their company is. I don't think they're going to share a public email address on a Facebook account. Am I wrong? I might be.
You'll probably need to then, figure it out.
Enrich it. Yeah, but that's a great starting point. I would start there. Boom, scrape the whole group. You might need to be a member to do that.
Oh, yeah, likely.
Yep. Okay. And so be a member, scrape the list.
As you're noticing, as listener, we are absolutely no Facebook expert here, and we're trying to dabble our way through.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm still like 12 years old in my Facebook group. And I just have it so I can
if you're really talking about Facebook, just go to the dark web and download the database. It must be leaking somewhere anyway.
Scary, but probably accurate. All right, next question here. I see a few auto warmer solutions. Softball to you, Jeremy. Do I need to pay for any auto warm up?
Absolutely, the highest price possible. I mean, come on, make yourself a favor. There's a free one from GMAS that you could use. There's a free one from quickmail.io. I mean, make yourself a favor and stop giving money away. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why people keep on buying those things where it's like, it's just, snake oil stuff at this stage.
You don't like spending extra money? Right. And I miss playing hula hoop, but be that as it may.
Yeah, I could really go for some ramen right now with the extra money, of course.
Exactly. All right, we move along. It's rapid fire. We're being ridiculous. Is Outlook still the best provider for email deliverability?
Yes, that's a simple one. I checked the data quite recently because I wondered the same thing. And the answer is yes, but know that there is always a counterpart, which is an absolutely massive pain in name any part of your body to actually deal with their support and get stuff to work and set it up. But hey, that's the price you get 5 to 10% more open rate. That's it.
Worth it. Okay. Should you ever address an email to an entire department?
I can take this one. Hell no. You multiply your chances of being flagged as spam, and that's never good. I mean, if you really need to, right? Yeah, exactly. If you really need to, I mean, contact the contact website or email or support or whatever in order to figure out, who would I need to contact if I needed to talk about, a solution concerning, I don't know, Facebook, whatever.
Right. So I can think of
could
one
be its own little
exception.
campaign.
Okay, how about this? You can actually contact whole departments, but it's it's super specific. And for the most part, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. Never, ever do it. In fact, what I'm going to suggest, you should still find the person behind it. But we worked with a company that dealt with, you mentioned dark web a little while ago. They helped with security breaches. No, yeah, but they would actually be the ones to prevent and help. Yeah, it was mostly a prevention tool to end up with leaked credentials on the dark web. Nobody wants that. So we actually kind of did a campaign to the IT department. When they found company credentials on the dark web, we basically would reach out to the IT department if we couldn't find the appropriate person, which wasn't always the case, but it was there, and basically said like, hey, not sure who this is for, but IT department, I saw your credentials here on the dark web. Here's more information. Should we, happy to provide more if you'd like some help with that.
I love how you started, not to know who I should mention it, who it is for. I think it's the only reason why you would send to a group.
Right, and just bear in mind, that was something that certainly falls under the job description of the IT department of these companies. So they have to reply to it. And reply they did. So let's move on.
Yep.
Rapid. All right.
It's a slow fire today, but
it's slow. It does
okay.
feel slow. What's the matter with us? All right. What questions should I ask on every sales call that will help your cold outreach? I got one.
Yeah, start. Go for it.
Okay. So I want to find out. Yeah. Okay, cool. I want to find out where this prospect is in their journey. That's typically very helpful to hear the backstory of like the pain they went through, the long, like slow process to get what they were trying to get before they called you. So I like to ask, what have you been trying since? And like, tell me about where you're at right now with X problem. And that opens up a long story about, oh, well, we worked with this, freelancer, we tried this list and it, wasted a ton of money here. And then you can kind of find pain points and dig a little bit further, rub some salt in the wound. And now like you're starting to get to some emotional triggers that you can use in your copy. So it's like, if you've ever worked with a VA that disappeared on you halfway through, do you see what, like, I wouldn't necessarily word it like that, but you can sprinkle in pain points in the copy.
Absolutely love it. On my end, I actually do that, but it's more, I say, what made you say yes, or what made you reply to my email in the first place? It's like, hey, Jack, great, thank you for coming on a call. Hey, do you mind if I ask you a quick question before we start? Like, what made you say yes to my original email? And then usually that opens people. They say, oh, well, it's because we have XYZ. I really like the way you talked, or the way that your product could solve a problem, whatever it comes, and then I can then zero in on my next campaign on this.
What made you reply?
Yeah,
right.
What made you reply originally to my or to my first email? It's like, hey, it's just curious, something like that. It works wonderful, and it's fun and it's interesting. It's not always what I guessed, so that's really good.
Love it. Right, rapid fire. 2 more. When should I use my gut on deciding segments? May I? Never. Yes. Always look at what's worked in the past and double down on those look-alike prospects. Enough said?
Well, Jack, I got a hunch.
Doesn't matter. Unless you have 0 clients and you can't find a single competitor on the internet that you can look and see who's giving testimonials. If that's the case, by the way, you probably should not do that business. Then you can use your gut. But if you have something to go by, do it.
I'm going to derail the rapid fire for a second. Usually people are self-sabotaging themselves. Like they got one segment, it works super well, but hey, we'd like to try another segment. Like, why? Like carry on the one that super works, and double down on it. But anyway, it's very common.
So true.
So yeah.
I unfortunately have to agree with you. Too common. All right, last question. Let's go. All right, you guys. Yeah. All right, Long Island accent here. You guys talk about creative follow-up sequences based off different responses. You still do it? I'm reading the actual question. It says you guys. It just prompted it, but you listen to the end of the rapid fire and it's starting to deteriorate here. But
should I pick up another subject than a rapid fire today?
Do you still create follow-up sequences based on different responses? And the answer is yes. If you're handling replies at any level of scale, or like you're trying to get someone to help you with it, it's a very good idea to craft out kind of follow-up sequences on the FAQs.
Yeah, and I mean, do exactly what Jack said. The unfortunate reality for me is I sort of like dropped it. I think for two reasons. First of all, I think the volume didn't really require it. Like I have a very slow campaign at the moment, so I'm not getting like hammered by the lot of responses, and therefore I got the time to really craft each of them. And the second one is I do it myself. And so if you're not outsourcing, then that's a sort of luxury you can have. But if you're outsourcing to, your team, then you need to have a sort of SOP in place. And therefore, it's much easier to have a campaign. So you know that they will always follow up the same way. In fact, I actually was training one of my team members to actually start answering the same way. And when I got him like doing that, then I say, okay, fine, carry on. But it takes a lot of time. And if you want that, easier to take sequences.
Good point. Okay, so you made it to the end of the podcast. If you like any of this stuff, check out course.quickmail.io. It's the masterclass on cold email outreach. Take the course and you will be one of the few, even today, people sending cold emails that follow best practice, that add personalization, that send to relevant prospects, that actually get responses. So especially if you're not totally convinced that cold email is a serious moneymaker, this course will show you how to do that. So check it out.
It does work.
Yeah.
Still in this year. It's crazy. It does.
That's true. All right, Jeremy. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the cast. Bye.
See ya.